So recently I had the pleasure of playing Bendy and the Ink Machine on PlayStation 4. This was a game that I definitely heard about, I want to say about like 3-4 months ago, but I didn't really think much of it at first. But then all of a sudden recently, I just had the desire of playing this game. And recently I bought myself a copy at GameStop, and I just played it ever since. And as you guys get to see here on the screen, I got in the Platinum Trophy. I am proud to say I'm part of the 0.1% of the people. Very worth of the Platinum just to be part of that. So, let's talk about the story real quick. So the story goes, there's a guy that goes by the name Henry. You play as a guy named Henry who used to work for a studio company, animation, and the name of the company is called Joey Drew Studios. And he used to work there back in the 1930s. He got a letter after retiring from an old friend, goes by the name Joey. And Joey wants to show him something at the studio, so he invites him to come over. But when Henry gets there, he realizes it's much more than what he expected it to be. And pretty much that's basically the plot of the game. Without me spoiling anything. So that being said, I have to say this right off the back. Bendy and the Ink Machine is definitely in the horror game aspect. It's definitely not the scariest game I played. I played much more scary games, but I would be lying to you that if I didn't say that the game kind of got me like 3 or 4 times throughout the entire game. The game has a very unique art style to it that makes it stand out from the others. Of course, it's old cartoon style, so somebody came up with the idea, I guess, that old cartoons was always creepy. I never found it creepy whatsoever, so it was one of the hardest things. But then again, for a game that's rated teen for teen, I don't think I could take this game super serious. So basically how the game works is that it goes by chapters. There's only a total of 5 chapters in the entire game, and basically it's a puzzle-solving horror game. Well, it's funny because it says it's in the survival horror aspect, which I seriously have such a hard time believing, because if I really had to put it in a genre, it's a collectathon horror game. That's basically what it is. It takes ideas from Amnesia and pretty much puts you in the shoes in a cartoon world. Now, it's not to say I'm giving this game any shit. I mean, if I have to be honest with you, this game is pretty damn cool, if I had to be honest. I was honestly surprised, how much investment time I did put into this game, because I never find collectathon games to be really my type of thing, or let alone up my alley. But this is a game for an exception. So basically, when it comes to the gameplay, what they basically have you do is that you pretty much go around and you find things to open doors and stuff. For example, say there's electricity goes out and you have to get past this door. Basically, you just have to go look for, for example, 5 levers in the entire area. You go flip on 5 levers, boom, you go through the door and you proceed on with the game. And that's basically how it is throughout pretty much all 5 chapters. They'll have you do tasks to make you go and proceed with the story. Now, even though despite how much I really did like this game, there were a couple of things about the game that definitely threw me off that I didn't really like. So, one of the things that you'll notice throughout the entire game, and I understand this is an indie game, so I can't give them too much shit for this game, but I think one thing I definitely did notice is that they definitely reuse a lot of the textures and a lot of the items in the game. So, if you're somebody who's a little bit on the picky side with that, then you'll definitely know that for sure. And another issues I have with the game is, actually, the biggest issue that I have with this game is the saves issues and possibly even game-breaking crashes sometimes. So, first of all, my biggest issue is the saves. So when I went back and played this game the second time around, because I decided at that point to get the Platinum Trophy, or when I was going for it, I needed to get all the bacon soup in the game. Basically, it's like your collectible. And when I was doing it, all of a sudden, when I was having this weird issue in the game, I was in a maze, and I had to get 5 hearts or something like that. And I was stuck on 4 this entire time. And I went to quit the game, and I did save as I played it, but all of a sudden the file got corrupted or something, and it didn't save my progress. And that's one of the issues with this game, is the saves is a huge issue. And I don't understand these games that have this issue. Like, because this is like, I believe, the third game that I found out that has like these difficulties. And yes, I know it's an indie project, so I can't give them too much shit for it. But I'm just saying. And the other issues I pretty much have with the game is the hit detection. Now, this is the one thing I forgot to explain real quick, is that there is a bit of combat in this game. So they give you like sort of different types of weapons. Like the most common weapon, they give you like an axe or possibly even a pipe to run around with. They do give you a variety of weapons to play around with, which is kind of cool. But when they make you fight the enemies in this game, it's nothing serious. It's kind of just a normal swing, but it definitely breaks. Breaks the pace of the puzzle. So it definitely gives you a little bit of things to do. So that's something I can definitely appreciate. But in terms of good combat, it's pretty bad. The hit detection is awful. It's pretty damn bad. And of course, like I said, this game, it's not going any deep with it. It's a very simplistic game when it comes to it. But I'm just saying is that I wish they worked on the hit detection a bit more on it. But besides that, it's fine for what it is, I guess. Just keep in mind, if you decide to go for the platinum trophy for this game, like 100%, it's going to be very frustrating because there's one trophy in the game that requires you to hit a bunch of enemies at some point, and let me tell you, it is not fun to go through that shit. And the last issue I kind of have with this game is the frame rate. And the frame rate is it's definitely not game breaking by any stretch of the means, because I definitely went through without really too much care in the world. But I know there's people out there who really gets irritated with that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you right now, I'm playing this game on a PS4 Pro with a 4K TV. So this is definitely a glaring issue with the game. But other than that, though, that's pretty much it when it comes to the problems. This is a game that, it's definitely a one and done deal for most people, I would say. But like I said, if you're really interested in the game, you probably will play it the second time. But just be wary that the game will probably have these issues when you play it more than once, though. But if it's a one-time thing, then I don't think this is too bad of an issue for you. Like I said, folks, for what the game is, it's actually not that bad. It's pretty damn good. It's a simple game to really get into. It's just really you as the player, if you're thinking to yourself, is this up your alley of a genre of a game? So that's pretty much it when it comes to for what it is. Nothing too specific to really say. I would say is that if you are a big fan of horror games, this is definitely a must. I think you should try. There isn't really a lot of horror games out there, but if I did have to choose, I definitely would recommend this game the most. So that being said, I think if I was to really give this game any sort of review, I think I would have to give it, I would say, a 7 out of 10. The game could have easily gotten an 8 at most, but because of like I said, with the saves issues as being the biggest issue in my opinion, then definitely could be a terrible experience in that regard. But that being said, like I said, 7 out of 10. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and catch you guys next time.